Welcome again, folks. It's April 2017, Dadhichi here, with the month in focus for you, those born under the sign of the Ram. It's an important month, particularly because we see your seventh ruler, this is the planet Venus, which relates to your marriage, relationships, love affairs, that sort of thing, moving into retrogression, that retrograde motion. And often people are well aware of the retrograde motion of Mercury, but when it comes to Venus or any of the other planets, they may not be too familiar with what happens. So let's take a look at that and analyze that more or less as the theme, while also the Sun and Uranus, these fiery electric planets, transit your Sun sign as well. But the retrograde motion takes Venus back out of your Sun sign early in the month on the 3rd, and continues there, moving backwards and then again forwards until it comes back into your Sun sign around the 28th. Now this is important also because this coincides with the full moon on the 11th of the month in your 7th house of relationships. And that full moon will take place in the same sign that Jupiter is currently transiting. So the retrogression has much to say about how you deal with your relationships, and also how you deal with your perception of the relationship. The retrogression takes you back to, in a sense, review, go over and modify or correct those habits, thoughts, actions, words that may not be serving you all that well in your relationship. Now, I want to draw a couple of distinctions here between going back and intellectually studying how you've handled your relationships and the contrast to, in the heat of the moment, dredging up the past. Because Venus would, to my way of thinking, essentially relate to both of those activities. The first one, of course, is to improve you, to modify your self-awareness and improve the way you engage in your relationships. The second one, of course, is completely detrimental to the relationship, and it's what happens when couples in the heat of the moment just dredge up the past and start flinging mud at each other. And that's based more upon an emotional, reactive position, and we certainly don't want that. So I want to draw that distinction by saying that, yes, please work with that Venus planet retrograde moving through your 12th house of the past, secrets, those areas of your nature that need improvement. This could be well served through a very, I suppose, meditative, spiritual approach, as opposed to, reacting and bringing to the fore all those very negative emotions that never really enhance your relationship, and in fact can create even more disharmony in your life. I'd like you to focus on that. This really is a month of revision where you can improve those relationships. That is underpinned by pardon me, the full moon in your 7th house. Again, this 7th house is very, very strongly focused this month. We also see later in the month the Sun coming to a very powerful opposition. That's a 180-degree opposition that takes place on the 8th, opposition to the planet Jupiter. Now, normally this can show an overinflated sense of self, or your ego could get the better of you, and that is precisely why I'm saying when these other patterns are occurring in the heavens, it's important for you to really, get off your high horse, listen more than you talk, and go through the past not as a means of using that as a weapon, but as a means of self-empowerment. There is a shift later in the month on the new moon, which, let me just check here because I've got the details here, and I think that takes place, if I'm not mistaken, on the 26th in the sign of Taurus. So later in the month there will be a distinct shift from this relationship focus to a financial sort of consideration, as the month starts, Mercury will be just into the finance sign. So you will be thinking about money, but the new moon there shows us the opportunity to really get things cracking and move forward. The other factor is that your ruling planet Mars is very, very deep into the sign of Taurus at 15 degrees, really giving you the drive and the energy to make things work. It's funny, the action planet has preceded the thinking ideative planet Mercury in its transit into this part of the horoscope. So it could be a case, as is sometimes seen in those born under the sun sign of Aries. Let me just get my clock up here, folks. I need my clock. And that is that you tend to act first, then think later. So it's important for you to use the thinking power of Mercury as it moves into this second house of finance to get your money and your income in order. The other important transits that we see here, let me get a look here. Mars is in a triangular aspect on the 6th of April to Pluto, a very powerful one indeed, and that is all connected again with your finances and your work. It's showing you've got that drive with the sun transiting your sun sign, because this is the month of Aries. Then there's no doubt you have the physical drive and energy to achieve what you want, and you could even be rather ruthless in the way you pursue your success this month. So be a little bit careful about that. That new moon does ensure new avenues of income, at least new ideas as to how you're going to improve your income. So on balance, I think this month is a pretty strong one for you. Don't expect your relationships to really start picking up steam again, particularly after that retrogression, probably till May commences, and we'll be talking about how that's going to affect you at that time. A couple of other aspects that we see just after that new moon is the trine aspect, the trine aspect of Mercury, again a work-related planet moving in the trine to Saturn. So that's giving you a lot more steady thinking as far as your finances are concerned, and that would be welcome given the previous transit of Mars that I've just talked about there in your second house. You can get more on this, please do, at my website astrology.com.au, the new look astrology.com.au. Just quickly, a bit of an apology there. We've had some real hair tearing, that's why I'm bald now, some hair tearing technical problems with our horoscopes showing a few days out. This is all to do with caching. I think we're working on a solution to that. Please be patient with us. Trust me, it's not easy managing a website of this size, and I do look forward to your company next month. Again, astrology.com.au. See you then. Take care now. Bye-bye.